Along the edges of the country, a solo motorcycle adventure of the post-corona era. There was a time when we weren't allowed to play outside. The motorcycle languished in the shed, the panniers gathered dust, and the fuel in the tank began to wonder if it would ever see the horizon again. But then came the redeeming moment. We were allowed to go outside again. Crossing the border? No, that was too adventurous for those days. So, one logical option remained: exploring the Dutch border from within. The idea was as ingenious as it was simple: follow the inner edge of the Netherlands, but in the way a map doesn't want to be read, via back roads, sandy paths, and forgotten gravel roads that would give your navigation device a headache. And let's be honest, that sounded like music to my helmet speakers. So I adopted the plan for a short solo motorcycle holiday. The mission: from north to south, from sea breeze to forest air, from the Wadden Sea to Wallonia, without ever actually leaving the country.
There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. By the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of my thoughts are misgiven, you know. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. That's you. Whisper that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason, and a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forest will echo with laughter. Remember laughter?
Morning peace on the campsite. The campsite is a true nature campsite, the kind of place where time seems to slow down and where facilities consist mainly of trees, silence, and birdsong. There's a toilet and a shower, and honestly, I don't need anything more. The pitches are tucked away in the greenery, with only a few tents scattered across the grounds. No caravans, no humming refrigerators, no strings of lights to chase away the forest. Just canvas, dew, and the scented pine. It feels almost like wild camping, but legal and with hot water, a perfect balance. After a simple breakfast, coffee from the pot, and a last look at the still sleepy forest, I pack my things again. Everything fits exactly as it did yesterday, although I wonder if that's coincidence or pure experience. The campsite is still completely quiet when I start the engine. A single head peeks curiously out of a tent. A blackbird whistles in protest. Then I gently roll off the terrain, onto the road, toward the unknown. No destination, no plan, just the promise of a new day full of winding roads, sandy paths, and unexpected encounters.
to heaven.
The start from the campsite in Grosbeek is epic. Even before the world fully awakens, a blissful silence reigns. Only the song of birds breaks the morning, while the sun already shines warmly on the tent canvas. It promises to be a beautiful day, the kind you know in advance will linger in your memory. With my engine still purring softly in the morning air, I set course for the Maastuinen. This vast nature reserve in northwest Limburg feels as if it were designed specifically for motorcyclists. The roads wind smoothly through pine forests, heathlands, and past glistening fens. Curve after curve connects effortlessly, as if an invisible hand has carefully woven the route. Riding here isn't simply about traveling, it's pure enjoyment.
And we both know hearts can change. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. We've been through this such a long, long time, just trying to kill the pain. Oh yeah. Never know what's coming, never know what's going. No one really sure who's letting go today. Walking away. When you take the time to lay it on the line, I can rest my head just knowing that you are mine. Oh, mine. So if you wanna love me, then darling, don't refrain. I'll just end up walking in the cold November rain. Do you need some time on your own? Do you need some time all alone? Oh, everybody needs some time on their own. Oh, don't you know you need some time all alone? I know it's hard to keep an open heart when even friends seem out to harm you. But if you
The kilometers lead me ever further south, towards the iconic Treeland Den Punt, 3 Country Point, near Valls. Although I've crossed southern Limburg countless times by motorcycle, it never ceases to amaze me. The hills roll like green waves across the landscape, and somehow, there always seem to be small, undiscovered roads I hadn't discovered before. It's those hidden stretches of asphalt that make such a ride special. Maastricht, the landscape slowly changes. The hills give way to a quieter, flatter backdrop as I travel along the Belgian border towards Brabant. The light softens, the day matures. The engine hums contentedly beneath me, as if it is enjoying the pace and the scenery. At the end of the ride, a farm campsite awaits, just the kind of place where time seems to stand still. The ultimate treat, a wonderfully refreshing pool. After hours of riding, the water feels like pure luxury, a perfect ending to a summer motorcycle ride full of peace, rhythm, and the joy of discovery. The sun is already beating down on my tent early. Even before my alarm goes off, I can feel it's going to be another hot day today. As I roll up my sleeping bag, I hear the first birds waking up in the distance. The weather promises to stay nice, but heavy thunderstorms are forecast for later in the afternoon. This prospect gives my morning a slight sense of urgency. Along the way, I take my time enjoying the quiet roads, the smell of freshly cut grass, and the sense of freedom that only a motorcycle trip can bring. Yet, I keep an eye on the weather. I'd rather avoid dark clouds today.
Trusting who we are, and nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, really our way. Hold these words out.
Early afternoon, I find a small, cozy campsite. Just what I was looking for. I quickly pitch my tent before the first oppressive heat gives way to the predicted showers. Once everything is set up, I plop down in my chair overlooking the Zeeland landscape, ready for the rain, and for a relaxing evening, whatever the weather brings.
For a different view, and nothing else.
Back home, along borders, ports, and waterworks. When I start the engine in the morning, silence still hangs over the campsite. The dew lies like a thin veil on the grass, and only the soft ticking of my exhaust breaks the peace. It almost feels like I'm driving away from a world that's still asleep.
So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from heart. Forever trusting who we are.
As I often do this holiday, I follow the border wherever possible. That meandering line on the map takes me today along the edge of Antwerp's immense industrial port. The contrast is stark. First the quiet campsite, now the gigantic steel structures and endless rows of containers. It exudes a special kind of energy, not beautiful in the classic sense, but impressive and vibrant. As I turn towards the coast, the landscape changes again. The salty air, the expansive view, and the sense of space immediately welcome me. Along the coastline, I follow the Delta Works north. They remain masterful structures, imposing, functional, and yet almost elegant. As you ride past them, you feel the convergence of human and natural forces. Near the bootleg, I make a decision. I won't continue along the coast. I've seen that stretch so many times, and the almost standard crowds there would only detract from this wonderful trip. So I choose the highway home. Sometimes coming home is just as important as the journey itself. Looking back, the route was magnificent. Varied, surprising, and exactly what I needed. A perfect motorcycle holiday, with plenty of memories to cherish for a while. But as always, I know, the next trip will come.